Alright kids, so today we will be reviewing adding and subtracting fractions, but we're just focusing on adding fractions today. So let's go through some of the steps that we would take when we are doing this. Alright, so first up, addition. So when we're adding fractions with common denominators or the same denominator, all we have to simply do is add the numerator. So in this example here, we have 1/8 and 4/8. 1/8 plus 4/8. We simply add the numerator. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5, so our answer is 5/8. Remember, the denominator tells us how many parts of the whole that the whole is divided into. And in this case, the whole will be divided into 8 parts. And then the numerator tells us how many parts that we have. Let's look at the visual for it. So here we have 1/8 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/8. 1/8 plus 4/8 will give us 5/8. So if our answer is not in the simplest form, we can simplify it or reduce it. So 4/8 is the same as, if you said a half, your answer is correct. So 4/8 is the same as a half. So this is how our working would look like to represent to show the equivalent fraction of 4/8. So we divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So we divide it here by 4. 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1, and 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. But what happens when we're adding mixed numbers? Let's look at the example here. So here we have 5 and 1/8 plus 3 and 3/8. Now remember, a mixed number has a whole number and a fraction. But more specifically, a whole number and a proper fraction. So here we have our whole numbers as well as our proper fractions. So we firstly start by adding the whole numbers. So here we are going to add 5 and 3. 5 and 3 will give us 8. Then we add the fractions. Again, the denominator is the same, so we simply add the numerator. 3 plus 1 will give us 4, so we are putting 4 there, and our denominator will remain the same. 8 and 4/8 is our answer. And this can further be reduced because 4/8 is the same as a half. Yes, we just learned that. So the answer will be 8.5 when we reduce it. Let's look at this one. So we have 6 3/4 plus 1 3/4. Again, we firstly start by adding the whole number. Our whole numbers are 6 and 1 in this case. So 6 plus 1 will give us 7. So we're going to put 7 there. And we are now going to add the numerator. Remember, when our denominators are the same, if we have to add it, we are simply adding the numerator and leave the denominator the same. So we are adding 3 and 3. 3 plus 3 will give us 6. And again, we are putting back our denominator. What you would notice in this particular problem is that we have improper fraction, or it's top heavy. So the numerator is more than the denominator. So we will have to change it to a mixed number, right? And so in order to change this to a mixed number, we will have to divide. We will have to divide, right? So I'm just going to erase this and let's see how that works. Let's focus on dividing this. So I'm putting my division sign here, and the 4 or the denominator becomes the divisor and 6 becomes the dividend. How many groups of 4 can we get from 6? We can get 1 group. So we're going to put 1 at the top there, at the top of the house, and then we multiply. 1 multiplied by 4 gives us 4, and we subtract we get a remainder of 2. Our next step is to turn this into a mixed number here to represent a mixed number. So the divisor is our denominator. The remainder becomes our numerator, and our numerator here will be 2. And the quotient, or the answer that we got, will be our whole number. So that means that it's going to be 1 here. So 6 quarters is the same as 1 and 2 quarters. 6 quarter is the same as 1 and 2 quarters. Right? And it's plain as day to see, because when we multiply 1 by 4, we will get 4. And if we add the numerator, we will get 6. So 6 quarters. But we are not done there yet. What we have to do now is that we are going to add that to our whole number, which was 7 in the beginning. So now we have 7. We are putting back the 7, and we are adding that to 1 and 2 quarters. So 7 plus 1 gives us 8, and then we have 2 quarters here. Remember, this can be further reduced to a half, right? So our answer is 8 and 2 quarters, or 8 and a half, right? So remember, when the denominators are the same, we add or subtract the numerators only. If the denominators are not the same, we can use equivalent fractions, but we will discuss that further. All right, we will discuss that further. So let's look at another one. We would also have situations where we will get a whole number, right? We'll also have special cases like that. So I'm just going to take some space here. So let's say we have let's say we have 2.5 plus 3.5. Firstly, we are going to add the whole numbers. 2 plus 3 will give us 5. And we are going to now add the numerators because our denominators are the same. So 1 plus 1 will give us 2. And we are going to put back the same denominator, which is 2. But look at that. Our fraction here is 2 over 2. Right? So this is a special case. So 2 over 2 is a whole number. So 2 over 2 is the same as 1. Other examples will be 3 over 3. That will represent 1 as well. 4 over 4. That will represent 1. So here we are going to add, we're going to take 5 and we are going to add it to a whole, or 1. So our answer is not 5 and 2 over 2. No. Our answer will be 5 plus 1, which will give us 6. Right? So just some final tips to remember. When the denominators are the same, just add the numerators. With mixed numbers, you are adding the whole numbers, then you are adding the fractions. However, when you have an improper fraction, when you get an improper fraction as the answer, you are turning that into a mixed number. To turn it into a mixed number, we simply divide. And then we add it to the whole. I hope that helps. So go out and do the required work on page 183 in your Brown textbooks. Do the corrections.